What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best longbow and crossbow build in Throne and Liberty. So in this guide I will give you a quick overview of the setup, then I will explain what skills and upgrades should you focus on. Then as well we'll see what is the best gear and how to get it, for both the mid game and the full end game. And then finally we will go over the weapon masteries, your stats, skill rotations, and even what guardian should you use, so we would be able to get the highest damage possible and much more. So let's move over to the build, and for the choice of weapons we are going with the longbow and the crossbow. This setup is godlike for PVE, as we can dish out a constant barrage of damage, because of high bonus damage stacking, and these two weapons having the ability to throw out a massive number of hits. This longbow and crossbow build always puts me on top of the DPS leaderboards. Also, by building up from your skills and passives, you will get low cooldowns and have a very high amount of hit chance, ensuring that you can keep up doing DPS for a very long time. So let's take a look at our setup, and first of all we have our skills. So for the defensive skill we use the Overtaker, while for active skills we get the Deadly Marker, Selfless Diffusion, Mortal Mark, Blitz, Merciless Barrage, Quick Fire, Mana Exchange, Mother Nature's Protest, Nature's Blessing, Decisive Sniping, Strafing, and Zephyr's Knock. As you can see from the gameplay, I don't have all of these same skill icons on my bar. It is because the skill icons will change depending on our specialization setup. So Mortal Mark will turn into Detonation Mark, and Merciless Barrage will turn into the Vault Barrage. And then for passive skills we get the Rapid Fire Stance, Sniper's Sense, Raxi's Overhead, Nature's Power, Ambidexterity, Piercing Strike, Bloodlust, and Eagle Vision. As for skill upgrade priority for active skills, we want to mainly focus on Quick Fire, Strafing, Zephyr's Knock, Mother Nature's Protest, Nature's Blessing, Selfless Diffusion, and Mortal Mark. While for passive skills we focus on the Sniper's Sense, Eagle Vision, Piercing Strike, Nature's Power, Bloodlust, Ambidexterity, and Rapid Fire Stance. And then for the rest of their skills, they're not as important, so just upgrade them as you progress through the game. Also, remember to first of all upgrade all of your skills to blue first, before moving on to the purple. Next we have skill specialization, and for the Deadly Marker and Selfless Diffusion we don't want to select anything. Then for Mortal Mark, get Detonation Mark. Then for Merciless Barrage, get the Vault Barrage and Gale. Then for Mana Exchange, get the skill effect enhanced. Then for Nature's Blessing, select the Whirlpool attribute. Then for Strafing, get the Gale and consecutive use. Then for Blitz, get the cooldown. Then for the Quick Fire, get 3 of these, so Gale, Minimum Chain Fire, and cooldown. Then for Mother Nature's Protest, get the Lightning Arrow. Then for Decisive Sniping, select both of these charging times. And now finally for the Zephyr's Knock, get the damage increase and cooldown. Next we have Weapon Mastery, and this is how it should look like for the longbow. So take a look at the middle and get everything from the Harmonious Mind until the Gale Overhead. And then afterwards go to the bottom and select that entire row. And then again, this is how it should look like for the crossbow. So pretty much the same thing. In the middle, start getting everything from the mystical region until the Cold Vision. And then go to the bottom and get that entire row. Next, let's take a look at our gear, and all of these items you can easily farm yourself. Which means that I specifically found items that only require for you to grind specific spots, and not use Auction House or spend IRL money if you don't want to. Also, if you're looking for leveling or farming gear setup, then I first of all recommend for you to watch my leveling guides, which are already up on the channel. So then for the endgame build, first off we want to use the Karnix Netherbow, with shades like the hit chance, heavy attack chance, and critical hit chance. All of this gear should be at its max level, and you can get this item's crafting recipe from the Death Abyss dungeon. Next we have Rex Chimaeru's crossbow, with traits like the hit chance, heavy attack chance, and added attack speed. You can get it from the Temple of Slaughter. Next we have the Divine Justicator mask, with mana regen, magic evasion, and cooldown speed. You can get it from the Butcher's Canyon dungeon. Next we have the Supreme Devotion, with mana regen, skill damage resistance, and debuff duration. You can get it from the Cave of Destruction. Next we have the Shadow Harvester tunic, with mana regen, ranged evasion, and buff duration. And as we are using 2 pieces of the dead set, so we will get 14% additional critical damage boost. And you can get this item's crafting recipe by opening purple armor chests, or by defeating NPCs, such as the Avolo's Chakra and the Avolo's Ambermancer. Next we have the Shadow Harvester grips with max mana, mana regen, and ranged evasion. You can get it from the Temple of the Slaughter. Next we have the elusive Hex Weaver Pants with max mana, magic evasion and debuff duration. You can get it by defeating NPCs such as the Excavator 9 or the Acid Ant, but to be honest any other blue item piece will work fine as well. Next we have the Sabatons of the Field General with max mana, ranged evasion and movement speed. You can get it from the precious equipment chests or by defeating the Dark Wizard or the Berserk Dark Enforcer. Next up we have the Clasp of the Conqueror with max health, skill damage boost and buff duration. You can only get it from the purple armor chests. Next we have the Bracers of the Primal King with max health, skill damage resistance and debuff duration. You can get it from the Cave of Destruction. Next we have the Violent Signet with max health, skill damage boost and buff duration. You can get it from the Cursed Wasteland. Next we have the Emperor Dimensional Band with max health, skill damage boost and buff duration. You can only get it from the purple armor chests. And finally we have the Belt of the Midnight Hunt with max mana, skill damage resistance and debuff duration. You can get it from the Precious Blessing Pouch or by defeating the Evil Eye. Last but not least, if at this current moment you only have blue gear, then don't worry because that gear doesn't really matter and you will soon enough start changing it for the purple pieces. The setup that I showed is the best current gear that anyone can farm, but no matter what gear you choose, this build will still work fine. But this setup is just an example of what good items with good traits will look like. Next up, let's take a look at our gear upgrades. And this game doesn't have a very typical gear progression. So by this I mean that you will have to upgrade pretty much anything you get. So you will go from grey to green to blue and then finally to purple. No matter at which stage of progression you're watching this video, just keep upgrading your equipment to their max level. And then when you get better gear, just transfer that experience from the old one to the new one. As for my gear recommendations, when you reach level 50, just farm accessible gear by doing open world dungeons. Also, you want to extract traits from the gear for Lucent. On top of that, you will need to turn important purple gear into the lithographs and then sell them on the auction house. Last but not least, for your traits, just prioritize the ones that give you the highest damage. And don't forget that you can acquire new traits by using the trait unlock stone, which you can get from the common trait unlock stone bundle. Next up we have the stats, and depending on your gear you should adjust them accordingly. So the goal for the endgame build is to reach 50 strength, 50 dexterity and 40 perception. For PvE you care mainly about maximum damage output, so that's why we want to mainly focus on the strength and dexterity, as they synergize very well with our high damage skills. Next up we have our Guardian choice, and this creature is a special transformation that can add offensive or defensive buffs to your character for 30 seconds. And for our build, the best choice is the Shade Remnant Steno. This Guardian launches projectiles every second that can crit on heavy attack. The main reason of why this Guardian synergizes so well with our build is because his projectiles that hit enemies will proc our Mother Nature's protest, so he will increase our damage by a massive amount. And now finally we have come to the gameplay. So the highest damage rotation is to first of all use the Deadly Marker, then Selfless Diffusion, then Nature's Blessing, then Detonation Mark, then Wild Barrage, then Blitz, then Decisive Sniping, then Quick Fire, then Detonation Mark again, then Zephyr's Knock, then Quick Fire again, then Strafing, and now we finish it off with the Zephyr's Knock. And then from here we just rinse and repeat. The main goal of this rotation is to first of all use few skills to increase our damage and the cast time, so then we can quickly do big damage and use the Detonation Mark, which for the next few seconds will accumulate all of the damage that we deal, and then explode and deal 40% of our total damage in those few seconds. So then afterwards we keep using the Zephyr's Knock and Quick Fire to ensure that we constantly make use of our damage increase node. And then finally we do big damage and then wait for the cooldowns to come back up. If you ever run into mana issues, then in between the rotation you can also use the mana exchange skill. And on top of that, we only want to use the Blitz on the Wild Barrage, because that is the highest value ability that we have. So by resetting the Barrage skill, we get to use him twice and do twice as more damage. And that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video, click like, subscribe and comment. And if you are interested in more content, then check out my channel and I will see you in the next one. So take it easy, peace.